Good morning, Michelle.
Good morning. Happy Monday.
Yes, once again. This is such an amazing day to dive into something that is very into the being, and that is about the divine feminine.
This is one of my favorite topics, actually, because, we often talk about male, female, masculine, feminine, but, that falls in with the law of gender because everything has a masculine and a feminine. It's balancing it out, and every person balances that out differently. There is no right or wrong. It just is. And we all balance it out differently. I know for myself, I used to be very strong in the feminine. However, it was like more of the lower aspect of the feminine, right? So over these last 6 months, I dove a little bit into the masculine, which actually helped elevate my feminine energy. So right, it's the trick is really to balance it out, and everybody balances it out differently.
I love that. And that is so true, right? Because there is the different side, right? Like you can have an elevated masculine, feminine energy, or you can have a lower feminine or masculine energy. And we all have all different aspects, but you want to get yourself into a more like a more positive, a more elevated state, because that's when you're going to get yourself into that vibration to attract more of the results that you wish to desire. And that's another thing too, is that we're so much into the doing, right? The do. And especially us, like as women, we have actually encompassed, I know for myself, I've been encompassed into really going hardcore. I have to work hard. I have to just like keep doing, because that's how I'm going to stay afloat. Right. And it's actually really a lack mentality, really. And it's going into the masculine side, but the lower masculine side of just always. And actually one of my 5 strength is actually strategy. And really, in all of this, 99%, it's supposed to be about consciousness. So it's about being, and it's only 1% of strategy to get the results. So it has to be like ease and flow.
Yeah, right. And I'm the complete opposite. I have zero strategy skills. Strategy is like way low on the bottom of my list, and I'm more in the cooperation, the union, right? Like that's where my strengths are. And maybe a good place to start this conversation, Jacinth, would maybe just to talk a little bit about those lower aspects of the feminine, right? Because we have to know where we're starting from. And for me, and again, this is, you attract what you are. So when I was living in that state of self-pity, of loss of self, like without living an authentic life, always worrying about what other people think, being like super dependent, like almost like a codependency on my partners. What did I draw in? Partners who wanted to take care of me, but not in the way that I really needed, right? They were perhaps overprotective, or didn't allow me to step into that authentic self, right? So I attracted in people who held me down because I was holding myself down, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah, I most definitely, because it all starts with us, right?
Yeah.
Whatever it is that we feel on the inside, this is what the environment that's going to be on the outside. And most definitely, like, and I have to say, like, yeah, my feminine side, like, was definitely on the lower side as well. And I'm just like, just the past couple years, I'm just becoming into being more into control of my own emotion. I used to always be like extremely emotional, and that's actually like a lower feminine, right? But I've always been, but my masculine side was also sometimes onto the toxic side too, right? So I have to like just to kind of balance things out and just to bring into an elevated higher and to like tapping more into my own intuition. I've always been very intuitive, but I was not listening to my intuition.
Yeah.
And that's the difference, right? Like and then to go more into the creative sides and all that. So definitely being dependent on people, like being accusatory, right? Like that's a very low feminine as well, and low masculine too, right? Because on the masculine is the same as well. But yeah, that's definitely something that I've been working on as well, to just kind of balancing things out.
Right. And another one, another feature of the lower aspect of the feminine is too much detail. Right. So I would often tell a story, or listen, I've got to give you all the details so that you completely understand what I'm saying. That's not necessary. Or even too much detail in the work that you're doing, so much to the point that you don't get anything done because you're worried, you're focusing on the detail part of it, like that level of detail.
Right.
And that kind of ties into with that, with the strategy. If you're constantly focusing on the strategy of something, like the doing, right? Too much detail in the doing, that doesn't allow you to be and exist through the process.
Yeah, it inhibits you to like actually get into really the real intentional action, which would be
Yeah.
of the doing, which would be a more masculine side of like elevated masculine side when you take intentional action, because the masculine side is more of the do. And
Yeah.
the feminine side is more into the being creative, like, you know, and all that.
Well, okay, then let's chat a little bit about that higher feminine aspect then, right? Like, and isn't it fun that I'm drinking my coffee this morning out of my mermaid mug, because she helps me tap into that higher level, right? So it's gathering information, right? Gathering information, being sincere in the information, that peacemaker, right? Getting and again, this is one of my strengths. However, sometimes if I can spiral again, right? Sometimes the strength can be, I don't want to say weakness, but that lower aspect, right? And I've always felt that I was the peacemaker, but sometimes I would put myself in the middle, right? And not allow the other two parties to get what they wanted to get done, what they needed to get done. Also, another higher aspect of the divine feminine is communion, and that's the coming to union, right? So if you look at the word communion, it's come in union. So getting people to, and even getting yourself into that level of communion.
Yeah, I love that. It's like alignment, right? Like
Yeah.
communion is like all about alignment. And then to be your to tap into that creativity in that higher elevated feminine side, is like you have to be in alignment with your higher power, with your higher self, right? So and that's all into being, into allowing to get those intuition nudges, and to be able to receive those messages. Because us as like the like females, right, we like we are the gateway to the spiritual world, and
Yeah.
it's to allow ourselves to tap into the higher power so that we can actually like create. I mean, the feminine, the divine feminine, the masculine, the divine masculine, we both have it. Like male, female, like men, women, we both have it. It's just to tap into that. But as a woman, we definitely have more apt into tapping into that spiritual world because of that connection we have.
Absolutely. And another aspect of that too is being that social mirror of reflection towards others. That is a higher level. And sometimes that triggers people, but that's what the divine feminine does, right? So she allows people to, and by she, I mean, even this, again, like you said, that men have this attribute as well. We all have masculine and feminine, but I just refer to she because whatever. But it's being that mirror, that reflection, that trigger for people sometimes, because they need to see themselves in order to shift or course correct whatever it is that they're doing and where they're going. Yeah. And it's not always easy to be that divine mirror for people, but it's something we all need to do. I personally love that aspect because I love when somebody triggers me, because it makes me step back and go, oh, okay. I don't particularly care for that aspect of myself right now. What do I need to do to shift that?
Yeah, it really.
I can't become a better human if somebody isn't mirroring to me and showing me what I need to do differently.
Yes, and it really gives that opportunity to learn a lesson.
Yeah.
To learn that lesson, to come within, right, into that divine feminine, go within and to be like, where is that part of me that is being triggered, and how can I grow that part of me and learn the lesson so that I can flourish even more. Because people are our assignments, and that's why we're being mirrored to each other.
I got full body chills off that. Just saying, I just got full body chills off that. And and it's being sensitive to that as well, and having empathy towards others as you're reflecting back to them what it is that they need to see.
Yeah, I love that so much. And that really brought to me about like, there's for me, I always felt like throughout my life that the sensitivity that I had, like the empathy that I had, was actually like a default. It was like a fault. It was just like, you're too sensitive, you're too this. Being too emotional, yes, but being too sensitive, there's no such thing. It's actually a quality. It's just how you use it, right? Are you using it just like vomit on everybody about your emotional like aspect of yourself, or are you using it to better yourself and to better others? Like there's a difference between the two. And it's just to embrace the both part, and it's just to use it as your own strength, because all of this is actually use these two divine qualities and use it at your full potential to get the result that you want and to be of service for the highest good.
Yeah. I kind of want to tap into what somebody said this morning in study club, which really struck me. And we were talking about the toxic empathy, the toxic empath. And when I think back to a couple of years ago, that would have been me, because what I did was I allowed the emotions and feelings of other people. I allow that into my nervous system to take it away from them so they didn't have to deal with it. Right? So because I mean, I'm a strong empath. I guess that's my job, is to absorb other people's energies. No, it's not. It's to recognize those energies and mirror it back to them, and to say, here's the reflection of what you're showing me.
Yeah.
This is what you're showing me is going on with you right now. You need to deal with that.
Yes.
Because taking other people's emotions and trying to process them yourself, is taking away their karmic healing, which goes against the universal law. It's hurting yourself, which you're not putting yourself first, again, going against another universal law. So when you're doing that, you're breaking the law all over the place.
Yeah. And I love that too. I knew where you were going with that there when you said like there's something that has happened, because it actually struck me as well. And I just loved it so much because it does take that opportunity again to go within and be like, you know what? Yes, that was me. That was me. I was a toxic empath, and I was taking on, you know, we always talk about the narcissist, right? But there's also that toxic empath, right? So, and it's always good to just really look at ourselves and be like, am I doing this for the highest good, or I'm just doing it because it makes me feel good,
Yeah. At
right?
the moment, for the moment.
Exactly.
Because after that moment is over, now you've got all this energy in it that isn't even yours.
Yeah,
And now you're trying to process other people's stuff. Well, when do you have time to do your own work? You're not.
exactly. And that is so important too, as being healers. Like Michelle and I were both energy healers. And a lot of times we get that questions too, is like, do you absorb the energy? And that's the difference there too, is that we actually don't take on the energy, because the energy actually flows from, it comes from the universe. We are just acting as a portal. We are the messengers, right? So, and then after that, we always do cut coding, that we call it, right? Like we make sure that our energy is our energy is our energy, and that energy of the person that we are helping during a session is their energy. So there's no connection anymore. We're making sure that there's a clearing there. So that is something as well that is important to mention, because there's questions about that as well. But yes, just to go back into that higher feminine, it's okay to be nurturing. It's okay to be compassionate, to be empathetic. It's just to know the difference is, where is the line? Where is it crossing? Are you helping that person? Or are you just wanted to take on that pain? Everybody has to go through their own lessons in life. And yeah, taking on the pain of others is not the way to go, like you mentioned there, Michelle.
Yeah. And being in that higher level of the divine feminine is in with it aligns really nice with the Christ consciousness. So that's living, like you said, living in compassion, living in caring. Like for me, it's the compassion. And I know for myself, it's sometimes ruthless compassion, because I have to be ruthless about taking care of myself so that I can be of service to other people.
Yes, it all comes
And
down
that's
with,
what the divine feminine does, right? Like
yeah,
she has to take care of herself first in order to like fill your cup and serve from the overflow.
exactly.
Yeah.
It all comes down with your self-worth.
Yeah.
Know that you are worthy. Know that you are enough. Know that you have everything that you need, so that you can just be, right? Just be. And then that is the one thing that is just, we can never say enough. It's like, it's in the being, not so much in the doing, to get the results that you want.
And the way to do that is through taking care of yourself, meditating,
Improve your mindset.
taking care of your nervous system, right? Because that nervous system, it runs your whole body. So, I mean, really taking care of that nervous system, and making sure your chakras are in balance as well, especially that number 2 chakra, the sacral chakra, because that's the center of creativity right there, right?
I love it. Yeah. And then that's why also that we actually working on our mindset every day. As coaches, like we want to make sure that we are into the right mindset so that we can be of service. And that is something that everybody should be doing. You take care of your mindset first, so that you can be in the right mind, so that you can be of service for the world. And we have this really beautiful opportunity for you to actually tap into that feminine, divine feminine side of you, and also to tap into your mindset. And we have this beautiful retreat that is actually coming up. If you have not grabbed your ticket, it's coming up this coming weekend, the 18th and 19th of March. And Michelle, we're just very thrilled to be able to put that out there to be of service and to bring that, because it's so needed in the world. It's so needed that there's so many people have lost their own self by just looking on the outside and just doing the do and just like, eat, sleep, work, eat, and then not going after the life that they desire. And that's why we created this, so you can awaken your soul and then feel the life flowing in you again.
Yeah. So if you're ready to tap into that creative energy, that true essence of who you are, then this is the weekend that you need to do this for yourself. You need to do this for yourself. If you're feeling blocked, if you're feeling afraid, if you're questioning yourself right now, then this is the retreat for you. This is the answer to the question that you've been asking.
Yes. If you let outside circumstances or people dictate your life, and you're thinking, you know what, like I need a change, join us. It will be life-changing. It will be life-changing. Is there anything else you would like to add on there this week? I know for myself, I'm preparing for this amazing weekend. I know, Michelle, you are as well. Do you have anything else in the books there this week?
On Tuesday, I'm doing my my Tea for Tuesday, and I'm going to be talking about another wonderful article from Napoleon Hill. And yeah, my focus really is this weekend, because I'm preparing myself to be of the utmost service for the highest and greatest good of the people who show up. So that's my goal for myself. This is where the ruthless compassion comes in, because I need to take care of me in order to serve the way I want to serve this weekend. So yeah,
exactly.
So it's a quiet week. I'm going to be a lot this week. I'm going to tune in to my higher self, and I seriously cannot wait for this weekend. It's going to be so fun.
And just the same there, I do have my In Touch with Your Soul on Thursday, where I just love to just pick up a book out of my collection and just intuitively turn into a page. And that's usually what is needed for myself, for the collective, and just tap into diving into a little bit of that. So that is what's happening. It's Thursdays at 1 p.m. And also there's the retreat. This is the same. I'm going to be working onto the being into the consciousness, be in alignment, bring the creativity into the forefront, and the intuition and the compassion and healthy empathy. So that to be there for others and for the greatest good for all as well. So thank you for showing up for yourself and to listening to our spirit talk that we love to do on the Monday. And I'm so grateful for you, Michelle. I cannot say enough. Oh, I just love to collaborate with you and do these amazing talks together.
This one feels like a little bit different vibe. However, I think that's what this is exactly what we needed to do today. Exactly what we needed to do.
That's right. Thank you so much, everyone, and have a miraculous day. And make sure you get your tickets. We'll see you very soon. Take care.